Hello, friends. We all know that digital technology has intruded into almost all domains of our life. How to use the digital technology effectively for educational purposes is a important, pertinent question. We will try to discuss about that today. Of course, our context is medical education in the undergraduate level. So we would be covering books, lectures, question banks, journals, a few aspects of site while you write, when you write a scientific paper, and some presentation tools which are available. We all know that the books are the mainstay educational resources. They can again be classified into reading book, review books, and reference books. The reading books, we are not going to cover which all books you should read, but we will be covering only the tools for electronic reading. And the review books are the books you create either as notes, your own notes, or you borrow from other people. We will be discussing about some of the note-taking applications. The references are only sparingly used in the undergraduate education, and they are mainly used when you are presenting a topic. But we will be discussing shortly about online resource which may be available through your institute. We won't be covering the offline lectures. Online lectures can be audio podcasts or videos. The question banks, the clinical Vignetta type of questions are important. Last three, that is searching the PubMed site while you're writing, and presentation tools are not that important for an undergraduate, but we will be touching upon that because that will be immensely useful for you in your future life, and in near future you will be doing a student project these tools will be helpful for your research. So what are the tools for electronic reading? The e-ink readers are available. A lot of textbooks are now available through e-ink readers. Some of the books may be available as PDF format. Few softwares available for PDF reading are Foxit Reader, which is an open source free software. Adobe Reader is a freemium. That means some of the features are free, but for advanced features we have to pay. Liquid Text is a paid PDF reader with very good annotation and note-taking capabilities, which I personally use, but it is a paid one. So not all books will be in PDF format. The other file formats like CHM, EPUB, Rijao, iBooks may be the format of your book. Here comes the importance of Calibre. It is a free open source software. It is a comprehensive ebook viewer. It is not only an ebook viewer. It has got capabilities to convert books from one format to another, which may be helpful for you. So what are e-ink readers? E-ink readers are special type of electronic readers which uses special e-paper technology, in which light will not be coming from the screen onto your eyes. So you can see that it is reflecting only your ambient light. So it is more friendly for your eyes. At night time you can add light, but that light also will not be coming onto your face. It is coming from the sides of the side panel of the reader, and it will be reflecting onto the screen, and so no direct light will be coming from the screen onto your eyes. They are easy to carry. A single charge may last for 3 weeks. Most of them store the books in the clouds. and hence you will not lose the books when you lose your device. Most of them will be having a built-in dictionary. Most of the ink readers have got advanced capabilities like making flashcards, taking notes, and you can easily revise the notes. Going to the review books, so we have to take notes. So how to take notes digitally? Easiest way to convert your physical notes into digital format is to draw and explain in a single A4 sheet, scan it, and store it in the computer for revision. So these are the notes I have converted into digital format and stored in my computer. And because I have given specific names for each file, suppose I want to find out ulnar nerve, and the course of the ulnar nerve, it is very easy for me to retrieve that file. If you are using a tablet such as iPad, they will be having a built-in note-taking application. Two note-taking application which are worth mentioning include Notability and GoodNotes. Both are for tablets. This is the interface of Notability. One important feature of Notability is the ability to record voice when you are taking the notes. So when you read these notes later, you will be able to hear the recorded voice at the same time. One good feature of GoodNotes is the presentation mode. So you will be able to present your notes without converting to any other format. Coming to the online reference material, Clinical Key is a standard electronic commercial clinical knowledge solution. It supports students with the latest evidence across specialties. That include reference books and journals, point of care monographs, drug information videos, practice guidelines, customized patient education handouts, clinical calculators, etc. Personally, I use the online resource provided by the Royal College of Surgeons of England because I am a fellow. I use the My Athens function, and most of the resources, including the Clinical Key, other resources like Ovid, Science Direct, Spinkerlink, Taylor Francis, Willy, all are available online through this interface. Your institute may be providing such interfaces. You should inquire with your library to find out whether such facilities are available for your use. Once you go to the Clinical Key interface through your college, you will be logged in through your college, and you will be greeted with a search field. And below that, you have got browse buttons. You can browse the books, journals, and a lot of other resources. Podcast audio lectures are available through Android and iOS stores. Anatomy of Heart by Stanford and Instant Anatomy are two commonly mentioned podcasts. Because I'm an orthopedic surgeon, I'm familiar with Miller 1 and 2 podcasts and Oswestry podcasts. Both are orthopedic specific podcasts. Dr. Najib Lectures. It is a top quality online lecture series across all preclinical topics. It is free for few videos. Some of the videos are available free of charges in the YouTube. For accessing the entire resource, you have to pay a one-time fees. Carefully selected free YouTube videos are another important video lecture resource. Clinical vignette are second order questions that stimulate higher order thinking. USMLE question banks, MRCS, MRCP questions are some of the commonly mentioned clinical vignette question banks. For orthopedics, there is a very good clinical vignette repository called OrthoBullets. Coming to the PubMed search. So why you want to search the PubMed? Almost all of you might have searched the Google for retrieving information, including technical one. Even doctors will be searching the Google for information about medicines or diagnosis. One problem with Google search is it will be retrieving a large number of query results, and most of them will be irrelevant. And it will be very difficult for you to find out which one is more relevant, which one is less relevant, especially if you are a beginner. Third thing is the Google may sometimes redirect you to unsecure places, which can compromise your digital security. PubMed is an online repository which retrieves information from Medline, which stores high quality biomedical research articles. So how to search PubMed? And the preliminary steps include developing a research question. Then we have to conduct a preliminary search to find out the search terms. Then we have to identify the search terms and do the proper query with all the search terms. This may sound complicated, but once you master this, it will be one of the most useful digital tool at your disposal as far as your literature search is concerned. We will try to do that now. We have to first formulate a systematic approach for finding relevant articles. This will be done using mesh and keyword combination. You have to also understand how to use Boolean operation, truncation, and field tags. Then we have to run our search in the PubMed. This is our scenario. You want to identify the predictors associated with the development of delirium in elderly patients with hip fracture. First, we want to conduct a literature search. Your aim is to find out the current understanding about the predictors or the risk factors of delirium in elderly patients with hip fracture. One problem with PubMed search is authors will be referring to one concept by many different terms. For example, when you search for the hip, you may be excluding the intertrochanter, trochanter, neck of femur, and finally what you will be getting will be less number of search results. So we have to use a controlled vocabulary when you are searching the PubMed. This controlled vocabulary is called mesh and keyword combination. When you go to PubMed, if you scroll down to the left lower quadrant, you can see a mesh database tab. If you click on that, you can search for the mesh term for a particular common term. For example, if you want to find out the mesh term for the elderly, type in the word elderly in the search field, and you will be directed to some search results. Age is the search term for elderly, and you can click on that and you can add to the search builder. And if you read carefully, you can see that aged, 80 and over is also another mesh word for elderly. So we can see that in the search result, aged, 80 and over is another mesh term for elderly. So we have to, because it is also relevant, we have to add that to our search builder. All in-text articles will be tagged with mesh terms. These tags are very specific, and each article will be having a 5 to 15 mesh terms. Sometimes no mesh will be available for your search item, and newer mesh may not identify older articles. Mesh may miss out new articles because they may not be in text. So we have to use a combination of mesh terms and keywords. So how to prepare the keywords? We have to open up a text editor, paste your research question, and you have to divide your search into different concepts. So our first concept is delirium. Second concept is the elderly. Our third concept may be hip. Fourth concept may be fractures. We can have a fifth concept that could be predictors. For each concept, we have to first think about the potential keyword. Potential keywords for fracture include fracture and fractures. And potential keywords for hip include the hip joint, hip, trochanter, trochanteric, intertrochanteric, and so. Similarly, we have to find out the keywords for the elderly and also for delirium. Now we have to find out the mesh term for each concept. For the elderly, the mesh term we have already searched and found out, and we have to copy and paste that into our document. Then we have to combine our mesh term with the keywords, so that no article will be all the articles related to the elderly will be retrieved. Similarly, we have to do that for the concept of delirium. We have to copy paste our mesh term and combine the mesh term with the text words, and we have to tell the PubMed that this is a text word by either typing TW in square bracket or typing text word. There is something called truncation. If you have got two keywords which differs only in the plural, that is, one is fracture, other is fractures, you can truncate that keyword by adding star. Now all our searches will include fracture and fractures. This is called truncation, and connecting all the mesh terms and keywords with a command is called Boolean linking. Then this is the tagging which is being done. For keywords it is TW, for mesh term it is mesh. We have to copy paste the mesh and the keyword combination of rest of our concepts. We will be combining the 3 and 4. Now we have got the combination of all our mesh and keywords available for all the concepts. Now we have to run the search. What we are going to use is the building block method. We have to build the search one concept at a time and combine the searches together at the end. We can see that right now. Now we have to go to the PubMed, copy and paste your search into one of the concept search into the search field, and it has retrieved a huge number of articles, and click on the advanced. Now we can see that we have built one concept search and it has got a huge number of search results. Now we have to do this for other concepts also. Now we can see that it has again retrieved another set of huge number of articles. Now we have built the two queries. Now copy and paste the concept for 3 and 4 and build the search. Go back to the advanced, and now we can see that we have compartmentalized our search. Now we have to combine all by clicking on the three dots and add query. Now click on the three dots of the second and add with and. Now click on the three dots and add with and. Now we can see that the complete search is being built by the PubMed, and it has resulted in 718 articles, which could be highly relevant for the delirium. Now we will be shortly touching upon cite while you write concept in scientific paper writing. Citation is the official acknowledgement of somebody else's concept which is already published. There are specific citation style for each journal. Citation styles available are more than 6,000. It is tedious to manually find the articles, cite them in the correct location, and create a bibliography in the end. Citation managers and cite while you write applications are available for our rescue, so we should know about them. Some of the commonly known names are EndNotes, which is the industry leader, but it's a paid version. Mentally is a freeware. Zotero is a free open source software. I personally use Zotero. I'll be showing you how to use that. For that you have to first open up your word processor. LibreOffice and Microsoft Office both supports Zotero. We have already done a PubMed search and retrieved a n number of results, and you have screened these articles and found out an article which is relevant for you. You again go back to the PubMed and find out that article. If the Zotero is installed in your computer, there will be a tab by the side of your browser. If you click on that, the article will be automatically added to the Zotero library in your computer, and it can even retrieve the full text if it is available online. Once you have done that, you have to open the word processor and create your manuscript and find out the area where you have to cite this article. You click on the add edit citation tab and a search box will be popping up. You start typing in the title of the article you want to cite, and click on the enter, and the Zotero has automatically added that article. Once you have finished your manuscript writing, by clicking on the add or edit bibliography tab, add the bibliography to the end of your manuscript, and Zotero will be automatically creating this bibliography in the format of your choice. You can change the format by clicking on set document preference, and now the citation in the Chicago style, you can change that into Vancouver by just clicking on the few tabs. Now a few words about the presentation tools. Keynotes, PowerPoint and Google Slides are some of the presentation tools available. Explain Edu is a upcoming tool, especially for your online teaching. Notability and GoodNotes are good for your presentation if you are presenting your notes directly from the computer.